Hello, San Angelo, and welcome to the Live Daily News Show. I'm James Bellini.
And I'm Tessa Koskovich.
In news, a conservative activist was shot at an event in Utah.
Plaques were stolen from a cemetery in San Angelo.
And LilyFest returns this weekend.
For our interview, Dr. Taylor Kingman, the SAISD School Board President, is in studio, and we'll get into that after these messages from Jim Bass and Congressman August Pfluger.
Find your perfect Nissan at Jim Bass Nissan. With our incredible selection, generous factory rebates, and attractive dealer discounts, you can enjoy affordable monthly payments that fit your budget. Don't miss out on our amazing offers, like the stunning 2025 Nissan Frontier for just $499 per month. You can only find deals this great at Jim Bass Nissan, corner of Houston Hart at Arden Road, or shop 24/7 at jimbassnissan.com.
Republicans in Congress, alongside President Trump, delivered a transformative piece of legislation last month on America's 249th anniversary. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act is the largest working families tax cut package in American history. It is a massive win for Texans and will help foster an economy that is pro-growth, pro-worker, pro-family, pro-business, and pro-energy. The Working Families Tax Cut locks in President Trump's historic 2017 tax cuts, protecting over 475,000 taxpayers in Texas's 11th Congressional District from a devastating 26% tax increase, which would have been the largest in American history. Seniors in Texas, 88% of whom receive Social Security benefits, will now pay zero taxes on those benefits because of this bill. Hourly workers will keep more of what they earn, with no tax on overtime pay, tips, and even interest on car loans for new American-made vehicles up to generous limits. This will put thousands of dollars back in the pockets of hardworking Texans. This legislation also delivers $13.5 billion in border reimbursements for states like Texas and makes the most significant investments in border security ever seen. It reclaims America's energy independence, lowering energy costs for all Americans, creating high-paying jobs in the Permian Basin, and reversing President Biden's disastrous energy policies. Congressman Pfluger fought to make sure Texas values were reflected in this package, from much-needed support for farmers and ranchers through strategic investments, to ending forced taxpayer funding of abortion, to nearly $150 billion in military investments that will directly support the incredible men and women serving at Goodfellow Air Force Base and Fort Hood. It does all this and so much more. The American people were tired of business as usual in Washington. The Working Families Tax Cut package is a clear response to what the American people demanded in November: rein in wasteful spending, secure the border, and make life genuinely affordable again. Nothing is perfect, but this legislation delivers historic, tangible wins for Texans. And welcome back, everybody. James Bellini here with Dr. Taylor Kingman. He is the SAISD School Board President. Dr. Kingman, how are we doing?
I'm doing great. It's a good day.
It is. Now, let's just talk about the hot button topic issue, the Lakeview closed campus lunch policy.
Yes, sir. We have a new policy at Lakeview. It started at the beginning of the school year for everyone to stay on campus for lunch. That policy was made with security and protecting instructional time in mind. And so we're doing that at all 20 of our campuses. We're not doing it just at one campus. We're trying to figure out how to get as much instructional time at every single campus, elementaries, at middle schools, at both high schools, and then school security. You know that the state has put a lot of restrictions on school security. You see, everyone in town sees 8-foot fences around every campus that we can.
There's a reason
that
for
we
it.
can fence. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And when kids are entrusted to the school district, like, my biggest fear is something happening, and so school security is paramount. Right, and then right after that is making sure, like, if you trust your kid to SAISD, we want to make sure they're safe. And right after that is we want to make sure that they're getting the academic support and academic rigor that they're supposed to have.
Now, my niece goes to Cornerstone. Every time I take her lunch, I got to buzz in on the door, and I got to stand there and wait for them to answer. You know, they're not just letting anybody walk in and out.
Absolutely, and that's true on all of our campuses.
All right. When did y'all first start talking about moving to a closed campus?
I think it's part of a bigger picture, quite honestly. Like, we've, as you know, the state accountability ratings have been on hold for the past 3 years. I think fudge a little bit, but I think April was when 3 years ago finally got released. It was right before the bond election.
Okay.
So it may have been the first week of May, but it was right there at the end of April or early May. But we've had hard data showing that although we have growth on our campuses, and although we have a lot of really good things happening on our campuses, that our secondary campuses, their overall academic performance was not good enough. And so we've been looking at instructional time. We've been looking at how we could improve our academics across the board. And so we've been looking at closed campuses. And part of the reason we put a 800-seat cafeteria at Central as part of the bond was so that we could close both campuses. So I guess when we started the bond is when we started talking about closing campuses.
All right. So this has been in the works for a while now.
I mean, I think when the bond passed, all of a sudden it was like, okay, if we're going to be able to do this, can we do it at Lakeview now? And why would we wait on improving academics, instructional time to improve academics, and improving security immediately? Why wouldn't we do that?
Right.
And our campuses, I mean, the campus leadership at Lakeview, there are less absences in the afternoon. There's less tardies. There's less behavioral disturbances in the afternoon. So we're getting a lot of the results that we want, which is to improve the academic rigor for all campuses.
All right. Now, obviously, on July 4th, the north side got hit with a terrible flood. Did that make y'all can reconsider maybe moving to this year because of that? Because some kids aren't going home. They're going to maybe a hotel or a house that's not theirs or an RV or something. Did that maybe make y'all take a step back? Maybe we need to reevaluate how we're going to do this?
We talked about how the flooding on the north side was going to affect Lakeview and how we wanted to make sure we were supportive for our students as they came back onto campus from that. As far as feeding kids, I think the reality is there was no part of us that thought providing free lunches for every student at Lakeview's campus was going to be a detriment to anyone who, so to your point, like, I'm not sure I ever thought, oh, well, this kid doesn't have a home to go to right now. We should close campus for that reason. But none of us thought that providing school lunches to everyone, a breakfast and a lunch to everyone, was going to hurt kids whose families had already been displaced and were already hurting.
All right. And y'all kind of talked about the food trucks. What's the reason that you cannot have food trucks on campus?
So just for the audience, so our food is managed by the Texas Department of Agriculture and from a federal level, the National School Lunch Program, okay, which is part of the USDA. And we cannot provide federally reduced price lunches and have food trucks within 300 feet of campus.
All right.
So, and we didn't realize we were as out of compliance with that as we were, but we were out of compliance with that. And when you're working to improve everything, you look at everything. And when you're under a microscope because you're not doing things good enough yet, you look at everything to make sure that there's nothing that we're doing that's going to bring more to make people look at us harder and say, hey, they're not doing this right either.
All right.
So the food trucks, we can't have them within 300 feet of the campus because of the way.
And that's all campuses.
And that's all campuses. They're not supposed to be within 300 feet of any campus serving a federal reduced lunch.
Now, I mean, I guess before this, and they had food trucks near the campus last year. Did they ever contact y'all and ask y'all if they could set up?
It was just something. I think it kind of just became a fluid thing. It wasn't permanent. It was just a fluid. Like, hey, these kids are getting out at lunch. This is a good place to go set up our food truck.
Right.
And we weren't sitting there going, oh, well, you can't. We didn't say go move your food truck. And so I think it just kind of progressed over time. And this is change. I mean, I sympathize with the parents who are upset with the fact that we've had to do a change, because change is not easy. And like when we make change, they want to have their kid come home and eat lunch with them, or they want to be able to let their kid have that freedom. And I understand that this is a change, but just because it's a change doesn't mean it's bad. we are getting more instructional time. It does provide for a safer campus, and one of the things people have asked about, well, like, the lunches are too small. Okay, well, that's also mandated, but everyone can get a free lunch, whether they qualify or not, because of the way the campus qualifies. Everyone get a free lunch and breakfast. You can get a second entree for $2.25 at the same time you're in the line. You can get a second whole meal for $3.25. And obviously you can still bring your lunch from home,
right?
Just like people have done for generations,
right?
I understand that they're like, oh, well, the portions are too small. Well, the portions are regulated by the Texas Department of Agriculture, not by SAISD.
That's above you.
That's not. But we have instructed our nutrition staff, like, if someone wants to buy a second lunch, don't make them go through the line again. Let's try and have some common sense in how we're doing this. And if they want to buy a second entree, here it is. They can buy it right there when they go through the line. If they want to buy a second whole meal, they can buy it right there when they go through the line. And we have those two lines. Plus, we have an a la carte line and a snack grab and go line, both at Lakeview right now. And we're going to add an additional line as well, just to give even more options. Because, obviously it's a hot button issue. And so while we don't have any inclination to change what we're doing right now, because we're seeing the progress that we want to see, we're getting the reports that we want to get about attendance and behavior and improvement in class time, we do understand that. Like, I sympathize with parents like, hey, we want our kids to have more options. Okay, we get that. Like, we're trying to respond to that. Let's add another line with more options so that we can try and do that. We're going to try and add some more bistro seating. Okay, and we're trying to listen and understand that, like, there is discontent with the fact that we had to do a change, and we're trying to make some changes back that hopefully alleviate some of that.
All right. Now, the thing that kind of caused all this was, I guess, one Thursday, enough food was not prepared, and SAISD sent us a release saying, yes, enough food was not prepared, but we ended up trying to prepare more, and kids ended up leaving anyway. What has been done to make sure that doesn't happen again?
So it has not happened again from all reports, that from campus level, from admin level. I've actually been at lunch over there and seen the fact that we're finished serving lunch with 15, 20 minutes left in both lunches. Okay. But we're preparing enough food that if every kid came in there and kids needed more lunch, and the football team all wanted more lunches, like, we're preparing excess food at the moment to try and prevent that. And that one day, absolutely, there was a delay in how much. And look, it's never okay for a kid not to eat. Okay,
right.
Like that's our. If we're going to close the campus, like, we need to make sure that kids are eating. And that one day, there was a 10 to 15 minute prep time that wasn't done perfectly, and we'll own that. Like, we didn't do it perfectly that one day.
I mean, y'all admitted it to us.
Yeah, I mean, but you can go to a restaurant here in town, and occasionally your food takes longer than it does other times as well. And
right.
And that's part of food preparation. And so, while we're going to do everything we can to make that not happen again, the reality is, if an oven went down or something, it might happen again. But we're going to do everything we can to prevent it.
Now, I went to Christoval. Lucas went to Christoval. Obviously, it's a much different school, much smaller. But the way they did it was, in first period, how many kids are eating lunch at the school? 20 of us raise our hand. And then they'd send that to the cafeteria. Okay, we need to prepare at least 20 for this one class. And it went across the whole school. Has anything like that been considered to maybe help the cafeteria staff know how much they need to prepare? And
I think that it's a great idea. I think at this
I know
point,
Lakeview's a lot bigger.
It's a lot bigger, but at this point, we're also, we can't just, we're getting huge trucks of food over there. But the good news is we're getting more and more data every week that passes. The first week or two of school, the pickup lines at the elementary schools are long too, right? Because people are learning where to pick up their kid, and there's just some nuances that every year, the first couple weeks of school, it takes some time. So now we have 4 weeks of school, where we've been able to say, okay, how many kids are coming through that line every day, and we can then prepare for that and go from there.
Was it ever considered to maybe do it in steps to move to the closed campus? Like, okay, maybe not be as restricted at the beginning of the year. That way, the kids don't experience change all at once. The cafeteria staff doesn't experience change all at once, and then maybe just work to it slowly and say, okay, maybe at the beginning of next year in January, completely closed campus.
Yeah, I mean, the question is is it better to do it gradual, or is it easier just to rip the Band-Aid off and do it? And I don't know which would have been better. We felt like we could, other than that Thursday, we've been able to feed everyone every day. And even that Thursday, before the lunch period was over, we had enough food. So the reality is, there's a lot of, could we have done it this way? Could we have done it that way? And
hindsight's 2020.
Hindsight's 2020. Right. We're not going to do everything perfect. We're trying our best to make decisions that are based in what we think our capacity is and what our staff says they can accomplish. And our staff was comfortable with the fact that within 2 lunch periods, they could feed everyone at Lakeview. And so we moved forward with that. And, that combined with the school, the cell phone policy and stuff, I think a lot of people are enjoying being, when I was there, there was no, everyone wasn't walking around pouting that they were enjoying time with their friends, just like you and I did when we were in high school.
Right.
So, everyone kind of finds their spot. There's multiple places to eat on that campus, not just in the cafeteria.
Right.
And it allows for groups. There's still groups, just like there were when I was in high school. And it allows for people to go kind of find their spot, whether it's the patio or everyone eats in the library or they eat in the West Hall in front of the auditorium. That's kind of where they go with their friends and their pals, and it works.
All right. Now, and then the lunchroom, can you tell us where y'all are at with the bistro-style tables? Or
I think I'd like to tell you we're 10 to 14 days out from that, which is likely, but anytime you're getting shipments and things like that, it's plus or minus a week or so, but it's coming.
I work at FedEx. Don't dog FedEx, man.
No, I'm not dogging FedEx. I'm not dogging any of our suppliers. It's just we do need, it's coming as quick as we can get it.
All right, and is that maybe, are you going to maybe all move to all bistro style tables in the cafeteria?
Probably not initially. We do, the long tables do fit more kids, right? A straight table fits more kids. And so it'll probably be some people want to be able to sit, like the football team, when I was there, all sat together.
Right.
Right. And so some of those tables, they came out of athletics and they were all one long table, the whole football team sitting there together, or at least it looked like to me, the whole football team.
Right.
But so some people like those bigger long tables, and so we're trying to fuse the two together.
All right. And I guess kind of final question. I know I said I wasn't going to bring Central up, but can you kind of give us an update on where we're at with the new cafeteria as far as planning goes? And
yeah, and so if you watch our board meeting for the night, we're working on our bond stuff constantly. Crockett Elementary is breaking ground right now. There should be fencing going up. I haven't driven by it today, but it should be going. So we're in planning stages and doing that. I think the reality is for Central to be completely finished, I think is January 2028, roughly 3 years from now. So as soon as that cafeteria is finished, the plan will be to close Central's campus as well.
All right. I guess, do you have anything else to maybe say that maybe you haven't said in the past?
No, I kind of went on a soapbox the other night at the school board meeting, but the reality is our board, our administrators at Lakeview, at Central, at all 20 of our campuses, they're trying to do everything we can to make our district, to improve our district in all facets. And that means security, that means academics, that means everything we can, we're trying to get better. And one, we're doing that because it's good for San Angelo and it's good but it also, the state is telling us we're not doing a good enough job. And so a lot of these decisions are being made with the impetus that we have to get better. So we have to make hard decisions that are going to cause people for the status quo to get upset a little bit. But that's because we weren't doing good enough with what we were doing. And so I just want everyone to understand that their board, their admin team, like we're in lockstep together to make sure that San Angelo ISD is everything San Angelo deserves.
Has Lakeview or Central ever done a closed campus in the past? I mean, I know I'm looking way far back.
Yeah,
possibly.
so
there's bound to be trial and error.
Central's campus only holds 300, so I don't know if they ever had closed campus back in 1959.
Right.
And I don't believe when Lakeview opened the new Lakeview campus that it had, but whether there was closed campus 50 years ago, I don't know.
Well, just with anything new,
it's changed.
There's going to be some trial and error.
Absolutely, and we are motivated, and we're going to make sure we get it right. And we've come a long way in 4 weeks, and it doesn't mean just because it's feeding everyone doesn't. And if we can improve the experience more, we're going to keep looking at how to improve the experience.
All right. Well, Dr. Kingman, we appreciate you coming on today.
No problem. Thank you.
Absolutely. Back to you. Into the news. The breaking news is that Charlie Kirk, a conservative activist and influencer, was shot in the neck at a Turning Point USA event at Utah Valley University. The alleged shooter is in custody, and the extent of Kirk's injuries are unknown at this time.
Kirk is a husband and a father to 2 children. He is known for going to college campuses and debating with students and staff members. This story will be updated as more information becomes available.
This is terrible.
It's absolutely awful, James. He has a brand new freaking baby at home. And I truly believe people just do not fear God enough.
And that's a big issue. Lack of faith is a big issue.
2 souls now that need prayed for.
And there's a ton of, I don't know what direction we're heading in as a country, but it's pretty scary out there.
There's a lot of hate out there. So,
there is.
And hating to the point of attempted murder is a mental illness. So if you feel that strongly about something, get help.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. In San Angelo, the International Waterlily Collection is to host its annual LilyFest this Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon on South Park Street. This is a family-friendly festival and offers a variety of activities, including Kona ice snow cones, face painting, vendors, a DJ, bounce houses, and an art station. The first 75 attendees will receive a free snow cone.
LilyFest has become a popular event in the community, attracting both locals and visitors. It celebrates San Angelo's famous water lily gardens and provides fun for all ages. The vibrant atmosphere and engaging activities make it a highlight of the city's event calendar.
You ever been down there to Lily's?
I have. Yeah, it was a big spot.
Oh, that's right. You went to Central. No, I mean, that's like the best.
It was a big spot for the Girl Scouts, too. I was a Girl Scout.
That's true.
That's
true. You are.
I didn't go much during my high school days. But
yeah, you lied in your interview about Girl Scouts. That's the time you're on camera. I get it. No, I love the Lily Gardens. I mean,
they're pretty. I drive past them a bunch working down here.
He did an awful lot of work to get. This is the best in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So San Angelo's #1. Authorities are seeking the public's help after 2 commemorative plaques were stolen from Fairmount Cemetery earlier this year. The theft occurred in mid-March of 2025 when the plaques were removed from the cemetery's fence. Officials have called the crime a senseless act that not only caused damages but also disrespected the historic site, which serves as the place of honor and remembrance.
It also doesn't just disrespect the site. It disrespects the dead. Don't steal from cemeteries.
Yeah, that's...
Of all things, don't steal from cemeteries.
That's bad.
Contra Valley Crime Stoppers is offering a reward of more than $2,500 for more information leading to an arrest. Anyone with information is encouraged to call 325-658-4357 or submit a tip through the P3 app. Tipsters can remain anonymous. Authorities hope the reward will motivate someone to come forward.
And we'll be right back with weather after this word from Jay Chandler.
It's hard to believe how reckless some people can be and how hard they fight against real victims. You need a partner who consistently beats the giants and who will never, ever flinch.
Into the weather, right now it's 89 degrees and sunny outside, and the high is 93, and the low tonight is down around 63. Tomorrow the high will be back up to 93 and the low will be 66.
On Friday, the high is again at 93 with a low that night that drops to 67, and over the weekend the highs will be in the low 90s and the lows will be in the upper 60s.
And we'll be right back after this message from Connos Diamonds and Coins.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Connos Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Connos Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Connos stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Connos at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
All right, before we end the show, while we were shooting, we had an update on the Charlie Kirk shooting. Apparently, Charlie Kirk has succumbed to his wounds and has died.
He has passed away.
President Trump announced it on Truth Social. It's been shared all over Twitter and social media.
May God rest his soul. I mean, it's awful.
Somebody who went to college campuses and gave the opposition a mic.
Open debates, too. If you've ever seen a Charlie Kirk debate, he was completely respectful. He was a wonderful man.
I mean, there aren't a lot of people who are willing to give you your own platform to debate against them.
I agree.
In a setting like that.
So, I mean, may he rest in peace, and our condolences to his wife Erica and their family.
2 young children. So, but thank you for watching the Live Daily News Show.
The only locally owned news show in the Concho Valley.
Go like us on Facebook, X, and other social media platforms.
And download the San Angelo Live mobile app.
For the live team here, I'm James Bellini.
And I'm Tessa Koskovich.
And we'll see you tomorrow.